Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC Bantamweight division, sponsored by Carbless Premium Cocktails. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Funk Jitsu fighter. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and officially weighed in at 137.6 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 3 victories with no defeats, and fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, Izrael, the Hurricane Vargas. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and officially weighed in at 136.5 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 5 victories with no defeats, and he is fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Ethan, the marvelous Ortiz. And your referee in charge is Tom DeVellis.
Tom DeVellis, third man inside for this bantamweight affair. 2 unbeaten amateur prospects, Ethan Ortiz and Izrael Vargas. David Evans, somebody's has to go. Vargas in the orange and blue, trunks Ortiz in the white and black. He takes the center, lands a leg kick early.
Ortiz coming out light on his feet. Good head movement, nice feints, moving it laterally, in and out, left and right. Vargas a little more settled in his stance.
Vargas going high with that one, nothing there. Ethan Ortiz feels like this fight is the conclusion to a chapter. He's moving to Arizona with his fiancée after this and wants to end his time in the Midwest with an emphatic performance.
Ortiz is going to need to use that footwork that he's showing to get in and out of the range of Vargas. Vargas, a long, tall striker.
2 minutes to go in round number 1. Vargas, content to be on the outside, has tried for that head kick on both sides several times. Not landed though, David.
No, he definitely needs to set it up. I mean, we know he has it in his under his tool belt, excuse me. We know he can strike from the outside. He can strike at different angles. His opponent, however, is complex in his head movement and his footwork, which is going to make him a hard moving target. But also, his opponent needs to use that footwork to try to get in and out and get close to Vargas. So it's going to be a definitely a contrast of styles here.
Some bruising on the left leg of Izrael Vargas. The Hurricane again trying to go high. Ortiz with a crafty movement to get into the pocket. 1 minute to go in round number 1, evenly matched affair. Izrael Vargas wants the highlight. He wants to add to the sizzle reel, David.
Head kick there by Ortiz.
Vargas trying to respond, nothing there. He's missed on that attempt so many times in this first round. David, how can he set that up better?
At this point, I kind of feel like he's just using it as a distraction more so than anything. Perhaps maybe we can see him follow up with some strikes after the head kick, or even before the head kick to set up the head kick better if he wants to have more success.
Ortiz stunned there by a right hand. The Hurricane now hunting. In the final 20 seconds, head kick briefly connects.
We saw almost a headlock throw there by Vargas. Ortiz was able to get his hips down during the scramble and end up in a good position to get back to his feet. However, Vargas kind of turned it up after he landed that right hand.
Evenly matched affair through 1 round. You can see Ethan, the marvelous Ortiz, busted open above that left eyebrow. Significant moments from Izrael Vargas in that final minute, David.
Yeah, he landed that big right hand, and then almost, you know, we saw the head kick, right, that he's been throwing throughout this entire fight come into play.
Here's a replay of that right hand. Look at that connection.
Beautiful left hook right into the right hand. Beautiful throw there by Vargas. However, Ortiz was able to make the adjustments and get back to his feet. I mean, once Vargas saw that he had his opponents on the ropes, so to speak, he definitely put the pedal to the metal and tried to finish this fight. He's coming into the second round now, whereas we saw for 3/4 of the first round, these guys seemed to be very even. Both of them were willing to stand in the center of the octagon and just throw and throw and throw. However, Vargas made a statement with that big right hand and then followed it up with a barrage of techniques. Now he's coming into the second round with a boost of confidence here, man.
Izrael Vargas has 2 second-round stoppages. Both of those are submissions. Maybe he'll find a third second-round stoppage. Ethan Ortiz connects with a nice shot early.
Ortiz lands a right hand of his own. However, Vargas closing the distance now, dragging that single leg down here into the front headlock position.
And this is where the Hurricane Izrael Vargas does his best work, David.
Yeah, he definitely, towards the culmination of that first round, he must have felt something here once he got into this position. He probably feels he can be a little more dominant in these grappling exchanges here, and as we saw, he's going right to it, man.
Methodically working his grip, trying to make some success here. Ethan Ortiz bounces back up. The trip not there for Vargas as the marvelous Ortiz gets his own takedown.
Vargas looking to go right into that headlock throw again. However, being against the cage wasn't the best time. His opponent takes the back and sneaks in the rear naked then.
Ethan Ortiz, the marvelous, trying to snap the streak of the Hurricane. Look at the durability from Vargas, trying to push that choking arm up. Now has separated the grip, but he's not out of harm's way, David.
Ortiz has the figure 4 across the body, attacking the right arm across the throat, wrist control on the left side. He's in a great position with 1.5 minutes to go, man.
Nice work from Vargas to break that grip around the body. Now working to address the arms upstairs, but nice answer from Ortiz to chain these submission attempts together.
Nice sit out there by Vargas, sitting out of the front headlock position, able to get back to his feet and pushes Ortiz back to the cage instantly.
60 seconds to go in what has been a back and forth round. Vargas landing some knees on the inside here. Ortiz shelling up nicely and defending. We talked about evenly matched fight coming into this, David Evans, and it is delivering.
I think this is as close as you can get as far as matchup. Both of these guys are technically sound, very experienced, both of them undefeated. I mean, it speaks for itself.
30 seconds to go. Ortiz has planted Vargas against the cage. Nice knees from both men. Vargas really locking it down, going for the trip. One more
Ortiz
time.
with the body lock, looking to just sag Vargas down there. However, Vargas holding strong there. Perhaps look for him to maybe throw a hip toss there. He seems to be very excited when he gets to those positions. We saw a couple headlock throw attempts.
Round 2 is in the can between Ethan Ortiz and Izrael Vargas. Gotta state the speed at which Ortiz slapped on that rear naked choke attempt, David. I mean, he wasted no time.
Wasted no time for sure. Here we saw Vargas catch the leg, drag Ortiz right down to the front headlock position, and we thought it was going to be bad for Ortiz. However, during the scramble, Ortiz was able to solidify the back position and get the arm under the throat. I mean, this was definitely almost scary here. We almost thought it could have been the end of the fight. However, Vargas did a great job making adjustments, sat out of the front headlock position, got to his feet, and was able to be somewhat dominant towards the end of the round.
Vargas, first one to bounce off the stool. Ethan Ortiz shaking out the arms. Exhaustion might be starting to set in. Third and final round between these two unbeaten amateur bantamweights. Ortiz wanting to end his chapter here in the Midwest on a high note. Izrael Vargas wants another highlight for the reel. Kicks from both in the early moments of round 3.
Both of these guys still look fresh so far in the third round.
Crafty movement there from Ortiz. Vargas really patient and economical with all of his movements. Spinning back fist, a couple miles away from landing, David.
Vargas comfortable just sitting on the outside, throwing those leg kicks, spinning attacks, just constantly giving Ortiz something to think about. Ortiz seems to be okay on the outside. I think we have an eye poke there, Ben.
Eye poke acknowledged by Izrael Vargas. Ethan Ortiz will have some time to recover and shake that one out. Looks like he's blinking effectively and communicating with Tom DeBleece. Eye pokes are never fun, David.
Never fun. I mean, of course, it was unintentional by Vargas. It sometimes happens. We just have to watch when we post those hands out to make sure they're up towards the ceiling so that doesn't happen.
Looks like Ethan Ortiz is ready to get back into things. Ringside physician entering. Just briefly checking Ethan Ortiz and making sure that the Marvelous is okay. I believe we do have a replay of that eye poke. David Evans, walk me through this one.
Here we have it. Good movement by Ortiz. Vargas throws the kick. And however, I mean, you are taught in Muay Thai when you throw kicks to post off the head. I think that's what he was looking to do. However, his finger just landed in the wrong spot there, Ben. Now we're back to the action.
It's given both guys time to recover. Ortiz throwing out some very creative strikes. Vargas going high. Again, the right hand partially connects. Big body kick from Ortiz.
Both of these guys coming out with a renewed fire, it seems. Ortiz doing a great job using his lateral movement, flowing in and out, throwing the kicks.
The Hurricane pushing Ortiz back. On the bicycle is the Marvelous as he attempts with the left hand. Doesn't connect. Now we have that southpaw orthodox clash here in the final moments of round 3. You can hear Vargas's corner begging him to try to be more active with some of those kicks, take advantage of the movement from Ortiz.
Yeah, he's very measured in his striking, which I like. However, when you're going against someone like Ortiz that just has that wild, disruptive movement, the onus is almost on you to pressure forward and put him on his back foot and land some strikes. Sometimes the more volume you throw against a fighter like that, the more openings you'll see.
Vargas patient here, feint works, there's a head kick. Ortiz glides out of the pocket.
Ortiz in from the shot that was a bit far out.
Great sprawl from Vargas as he tries to lock in to a position here.
Vargas falls and sits into a guillotine.
Not much time on the clock for the Hurricane. Seems like he won't be able to find a stoppage, but boy, did he try, David Evans.
Definitely. We saw every time he got to that front headlock position, he seemed to have better control. I'm surprised he didn't engage in the grappling exchanges a bit more so far in this fight. But when he got there, as we saw, once he saw his window and possibility to finish, he tried to sit to the guillotine, was working to bump his opponent off to a hip and maybe advance. However, this one was close, man. I don't know how we're going to judge it.
Glad we are commentating this one. Izrael Vargas feels quite confident, trying to pump up the crowd. Ethan Ortiz, seemingly a little deflated.
You know, if you put a gun in my head and I have to make a decision, I'll have to go with Vargas, just simply because even though these guys were very evenly matched on their feet, you got to give him the nod for the grappling exchanges. We saw him get to that front headlock position a couple times. Even though his opponent Ortiz took his back once, Vargas just seems to be more dominant on the ground, and perhaps I'm a little biased being a wrestler myself. getting to that good wrestling position, and he just seems to have more control there.
There's that cut over the left eye of Ethan Vargas, Ethan Ortiz, courtesy of a right hand by Vargas. The movement was great, though. I really like the footwork from Ortiz all night long.
I like the movement. I like the footwork. He was in and out. Lateral movement was great. I think he could have been more effective there once he got to those angles. You know, he got in great positions. I think he could have countered and maybe struck off of those angles a little bit more, but definitely good to watch.
Maybe not the highlight that Ethan Ortiz wanted to end his time in the Midwest on as he progresses to State 48, but a very fun affair between two unbeaten prospects. And Izrael Vargas, the homegrown APFC product, locks in his 4th appearance under this banner in 2024. We send it inside to Michael Hansen to see if it was a victorious one.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. And our first judge scored the contest, 29-28 Vargas. Another one had it, 29-28 Ortiz. And our third judge sitting at cage side scored the fight, 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Izrael, the Hurricane Vargas.
Split decision to keep the streak alive. Izrael Vargas progresses to 4-0, all of his victories inside this calendar year under the APFC banner, David.